So what the hell is insulin resistance that people talk about whenever they talk about PCOS? So every time you eat food, your body breaks it down into glucose, and this glucose needs to be absorbed into the cell. Only once it gets absorbed into the cell is when it can be utilized to give you energy. Now, for glucose to enter the cell, insulin acts as a gatekeeper. Insulin is responsible to open the door so that glucose can enter the cell. But when you have PCOS, you have something called as underlying insulin resistance or inflammation. Now, why that happens? That could happen if you're stressed, that could happen if you're eating the wrong kind of food, if you're not moving well, if you have vitamin deficiencies, or if you're just not eating the right kind of food. All of these could lead to insulin not being sensitive enough. So insulin is present, but it is not able to open the door which will make glucose enter the cells. As a result, you might feel low on energy, and when someone feels low on energy, they feel that they need to eat more, and that might also lead to weight gain, which is also often associated with PCOS. Now, because the glucose is not entering into the cells, there is an increased amount of glucose in the bloodstream. Also, there will be an increased amount of insulin in the bloodstream. Because the body is producing insulin, it's just not getting utilized. So body keeps producing, keeps knocking on the door of the cell, but it does not let the glucose in. As a result, you have increased amount of glucose and insulin which is circulating in your bloodstream. Because of this, this stimulates your ovaries to actually produce more of the androgens, which are male hormones, which are actually not supposed to be in increased amounts in females, but because of high insulin, it triggers the ovary to produce increased amount of testosterone. As a result, women with PCOS would see symptoms like excess facial hair or male pattern baldness happening to them. And if there is increased amount of testosterone, it also prevents you from ovulating. As a result, you end up missing your menstrual cycle. So this is what you mean when you say you have insulin resistance and you have PCOS.